Sail with us as we discover a surprising town we'd never even heard of, before making our way to our final stop in Sulawesi at the amazing city of Makassar. We're an Australian couple, Rob and Karen, who worked out before it was too late that life is for living. So we're off sailing to catch our Dreamtime, exploring as many of Indonesia's 17,000 islands as we can. Next on our list is Sulawesi, the world's 11th largest island, remote and far from the usual sailing routes. Its coastline boasts golden sand beaches and hundreds of offshore islands for us to discover, along with many diverse cultural groups. Come along on our journey as we make the most of every single day in Series 5, Dreamtime Sulawesi.
Beautiful sunrise this morning, absolutely stunning. Good morning everyone. Well, we are one anchorage away from Makassar, so we've got 12 miles to do until another little bay, or if we find it's not quite suitable, we've got 38 through to Makassar. But we're hoping that we can stay and see another little place on the way, because we're going to have a couple of weeks in Makassar. One, to have a look around obviously, and two, because Rob and I need to fly out and do our visa run.
Fun.
Where are we going this time? We're like international jet setters, Rob, with visa runs.
We're off to a cheap hotel in Kuala Lumpur. A very cheap hotel in Kuala Lumpur.
How much fun will that be?
Lola B in front of us, and they're popping up their mainsail going downwind, which is something you can do with a in-boom furler.
We were already facing into the wind when the anchor came up, so we just popped ours up. It's already up and we're ready to sail. We're supposed to have about 12 knots from behind us, and then as we turn the corner at the bottom of Sulawesi, it's going to drop to about 7. We'll see, because we were supposed to have 12 knots yesterday and we had 25 knots. So we'll just see what happens.
We've got over a dozen full barges of coal sitting anchored out in the bay, waiting to feed the power station. In the light conditions, we poled the Genoa out to sail deep downwind to our turn around the southwestern corner of Sulawesi. When we turn the corner, we should get better. Even though the wind eased even further approaching our Plan A anchorage a couple of hours later, there was too much swell rolling around the bay to be comfortable, so we elected to switch to Plan B and push on to Makassar. That was until we discovered flat calm water off an attractive looking town called Galesong and came up with an all new Plan C, dropping anchor for the night. With time up our sleeves and no need to rush off to Makassar next day, we decided a stroll and lunch here in Galesong might be nice. So we launched our tender Tinny 2 and headed over to pick up Emma and Daniel from Lola B.
Got it? You got it?
Yep.
Yeah, that afternoon sea breeze, you think, or is it set in?
No, tomorrow's showing like 3.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
so it's just
tomorrow.
an afternoon
Yeah.
sea breeze.
Afternoon. And then it'll die again at night.
Oh, good. She's gonna start.
The town's waterfront was a maze of narrow laneways filled with welcoming voices and interesting sights.
So artistic, just in baiting. They're currently baiting up all their hooks and their lines to take them out for fishing. I mean, we get one line tangled. These guys have got this whole system that they don't get it tangled. It's amazing.
With Western visitors a rarity here, we also found ourselves in a selfie free-for-all.
We've got to go back out here, okay? Yeah. Where did they go?
We eventually found our way to one of the overwater warungs, where we were treated to one of Indonesia's favourite entertainments, karaoke, emanating from the neighbouring restaurant. Yep, they love belting it out, in tune or not.
Ikan bakar.
The food, though, was outstanding.
I might get a fish.
Lunch in an over-the-water restaurant. We're having some beautiful seafood. Whole fish has been the order of the day for most people. Daniel's bisecting his at the moment. Karen, of course, has got into hers in a hurry.
Beautiful, very nice.
Look the garlic.
And I've gone for some chummy. And chummy is squid. So all in all, another fantastic day in Sulawesi, made all the better by the amazingly friendly people of Indonesia.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It's been a little while since I've said that, because we've had some lovely days here at Galesong. It's a gorgeous little village, but we're only 12 nautical miles from the fifth largest city in Indonesia, and that is Makassar. Makassar is on the southwest corner of Sulawesi, and we're heading there for a few weeks in actual fact. The reason we've got a few weeks there is because there's lots to see. That's the first thing. And then secondly, Rob and I have to fly to Kuala Lumpur to do our visa run. Bit of fun. Always heading off. We're like jet setters, aren't we? Heading off for our visa runs.
Oh, we'd rather not, but
Oh, you'd rather.
we have to.
Yeah, we have to.
We only get a maximum of 6 months in Indonesia
At a time.
at a time, and we have to fly out and turn around and come back in with a new visa. So that's what we'll do from Makassar.
Looking forward to Makassar though.
It does look cool.
Heaps of things to see. Emma and Daniel are still
They're
in
up.
their anchor.
Well, they're near enough up. We can
Yeah, beach.
We can be on our way.
We're in sand, so we're not concerned about anyone being stuck in reef here.
They're also in 4 metres. So
Yeah. But yeah, so we don't need the scuba gear if we are a bit stuck. They're up. All good. That's the joys of having a buddy boat. What else is a good thing about having a buddy boat, Rob?
someone to look after your boat and keep an eye on it while you fly off on a visa run.
On a jet set trip.
As we did for them up in the city of Lubbock.
Yeah.
Well, they flew to Kuala Lumpur for
So
a few days.
we're on a different time frame, aren't we, with our visas? Because Emma and Danny went back to Australia for a wedding.
Yeah, we're about 30 days apart.
Yeah.
So that's been working well.
That's good.
Well,
What else is great about having a buddy boat?
Oh, plenty. It's actually nice just to have somebody else around to bounce ideas and plans off. And in the case of Emma and Daniel on LB, we have the massive benefit of the fact that Emma speaks fluent Bahasa Indonesian.
Yes, we have been cheating a little bit since we've been with them. It's been so much easier to say, speak to Miss Emma, she speaks Bahasa.
It's particularly useful when we do have the officials come on board and want to see our papers, etc. They have the barest smattering of English sometimes, and yes, you can use Google Translate.
And we have.
Yeah, and we have, but it's all very formal, whereas if you can sit down with Emma in the circle, all of a sudden it's very, very social and they chat and things are very friendly. They've all been extremely friendly and no officious officials.
No, even here we had the Army and Navy.
And the gunboats come in this morning and we're both up anchored and running away.
What does that show, Rob? That we're going to. Anyway, so our course right through to here is 6 degrees.
We should have a little bit of current against us initially, and then it should go pretty neutral, and then maybe a fraction with us for the last kind of hour or so. And we're not really expecting any wind. If we get enough wind and a wind angle, we'll just roll out a headsail and motor sail. So that's it. Let's get ourselves up to Makassar.
Yeah, looking forward to Makassar.
Yep, not much likelihood of sailing today from what we can make out from our rather challenging forecasts. We regularly check the 4 main weather models, so let's have a look at today's. GFS suggests that we can expect 6 knots of easterly at noon. ECMWF tells us it'll be 6 knots, but from the west. At least Access agrees with that westerly direction forecast, but it predicts a blustery 1 knot. And what about Icon? It agrees with a single knot forecast, but says it'll come from the southwest. Our own guess is we'll have 3/5 of stuff all from any direction it feels like. And that's exactly what we got, all the way to Makassar.
We have 3.2 nautical miles left to go before we get into Makassar. Very excited. Why are we excited for a city? I don't know. But we want to be tourists for a little while. So this bay out here to our right, our starboard, was level to where you told me that we would be going. We've just hit 5.5 metres, so I need you up on the bow and ready. So I will be dumping us, turning to wind and dumping us in the centre, alright? Radio check?
Can you hear me? Over.
Yes, I can. We're at 4.6. 4.6.
Got a lovely view of the pumpkin pie.
And the blue floating mosque.
So yeah, just keep an eye and make sure the depth doesn't start coming up again.
We're at 3.5.
Okay. Go port towards the high rise that's under construction. What's out there?
3-4.
I'm happy anywhere here.
Okay. Drop.
After 140 days exploring Sulawesi, there we were, anchored in a totally protected harbour at our final stop, Makassar, the closest city to the geographical centre of Indonesia. Sitting right beside one of the most beautiful mosques we've seen, with a call to prayer so melodic it was a pleasure to sit, watch the sunset and let it soothe the soul every afternoon.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Join us next week as we show you so much more of this amazing city and region. We absolutely love this amazing place to live life and make the most of every single day. We can stay 6 months in Malaysia.
Start that again.
We can stay 6 months in Indonesia.
Beautiful sunrise this morning. Absolutely stunning. Sometimes I wish I didn't see the sunrise though.
You'd rather be watching the back of your eyelids.
That's correct.